Welcome to the interview series of videos on the Billy Meier Books YouTube channel. The interview series is a collection of questions that I asked 14 volunteers to answer. In this video, the question was, what is a personal aspect of yourself that you are working to improve, and how do you do that? For those of us who are interested in learning about ourselves, one of the questions we may ask ourselves is, how do I improve myself? Or, what things are important within myself to improve? And these were the foundational questions that inspired me to ask our volunteers about what they are working on within themselves to serve as an example for learning. And I wanted to express my sincere appreciation to the 14 volunteers who had the willingness and courage to share personal aspects of themselves that they are working to improve on in a public format here on the Billy Meier Books YouTube channel. So, to the people in this video, thank you for your participation and sharing very personal information about yourselves so that others may learn. What is a personal aspect of yourself that you are working to improve, and how do you do that?
Okay, so there's meditation, but let's talk about what I'm working on improving. Currently I'm working on improving my focus and my attention to things that, I have a lot of things that I start and they kind of stagger and I don't finish them or I don't get them done. And so I'm working on improving them. However, I think I still got a ways to go in that because part of me goes, well, you started this, so finish that. So instead of just like, I'm cutting it off, I'm dropping it, then, but what about this? You have to, oh yeah, but, and so, the meditation book, the Introduction to Meditation, talks about the antagonistic might. And so that's my antagonistic might that constantly pops up. So how am I looking to improve that? Mostly my wife, she calls me out on it. And if she doesn't, then I get overwhelmed. And then that's also a teacher going, oh, gosh. So focusing on one thing, meditation, and making sure I'm staying on track by observing what I'm doing.
I try to improve tolerance because it's something that is very difficult to be tolerant to other people, because everyone has different ideas, beliefs, and if you are tolerant, you can speak with people, and this is something which sometimes is difficult for me because you have to accept this. And that's what I am working on, is to accept other people's beliefs, other people's way of seeing things, because when you think in the nature, in creation, there is so many different aspects, so many different way of things work. So it's very important to be tolerant, and that's something I have to train.
What is a personal aspect of yourself that you are working to improve, and how do you do that?
Ja, zurzeit ist der Aspekt eben, dass man auf sich selbst hören kann. Also es geht mir jetzt zurzeit darum, wirklich dieses Selbstbewusstsein und auch das Vertrauen in mir selbst zu haben, dass ich auf jede Frage, die sich in meinem Leben stellt, selbst die Antwort finden kann mit meinem Vernunftgebrauch und mit meinem Verstand, dass ich eigene Lösungen dazu finden kann. Und das möchte ich dadurch durch Meditation und entsprechende Tagebuch und ja genau darüber halt dann entwickeln und vertiefen und da wirklich dieses tiefe Selbstvertrauen zu entwickeln, dass ich da halt nicht unbedingt an eine Autorität hängen muss oder das irgendwo im Außen suchen muss, sondern dass ich wirklich diese Antworten in mir selbst finden kann.
the personal aspect that I would go back to what I'm really doing now. So lately I have been focusing more and more on observation, observing things as they truly are, the perception. I'm trying to improve, like see things exactly the way they are without any element that I bring to the mix. And it's not easy. I often find myself, but so that's what is my focus lately. Like how do I learn and improve and to see the things. I think if I do that successfully, whether it's a situation or a particular thing that I'm thinking about or personal growth, seeing things exactly they are is very pure observation. Is I come to realize it's very difficult. Yes. It's not easy. And when you start paying attention more and more, yes, you learn the ability to identify it, but still the element that we bring into the observation often makes it very harder. So
we color everything that we
yes.
see and encounter.
Yes. And so that's what's something I think if I could achieve to a certain degree, and in my personal individual journey, I think it would help immensely. I think it's also answer to a lot of problems people have. Yes. If you just learn to see the way things are, not that how you want it to be or how you perceive it to be, but how they are, truly are.
What is a personal aspect of yourself that you're working to improve, and how do you do that?
I thought about it, and perhaps I can give an example. When I became a core group member, these were very stressful times actually, because we had a lot of rules, regulations and so on, because it was a kind of a wild heap of human beings and shouting and all kinds of things, and so we had to get regulations and so on. Behavior had to be discussed and so on. I was kind of the statutes were revised and so on, and I had the tendency or inclination for, I don't know if the word is in English, pedant or rule-monger. Rule-mongering, or so strict. This has to be like this, following the rules and no exceptions and so on. And so over the years I learned, not just because I was reprimanded by PTA, to be a rulemonger, a Paragraphenreiter, it's the term in German. And so I slowly but surely learned and thought about it and draw my own conclusions and realized that was really something I had to overcome. And so I learned to realize that human beings are different. All human beings are individuals. They are in a different place in their life. Their upbringing has been different. Their level of endurance of stress is different. Their temperament
Yep.
is different. Some have a low level of explosion, so, and others don't have their life in control, and so on. This is not just the case within the core group, but everywhere. And so, actually, we cannot be rulers of all other human beings. We cannot detest other human beings just because they are lazy or not as energetic as oneself. And so this is something I had to learn within the core group, and today actually I try to keep a balanced influence in this respect within our discussions in the core group, that there is no strictness. Strictness is slowed, and the understanding is there. Logic says that you cannot alle über einen Kamm scheren. You cannot treat each human being exactly the same, because we have to take into consideration the faults and the strong, die Fehler und die Stärken.
The people who make mistakes.
Yeah, and the strength of a human being, and so these are different, and so we have, because FIGU has the weaknesses and strengths and so on, because FIGU has the term free in the name, so we have to always remember freedom has to be observed, and we may not become a tyranny of opinions, of beliefs and so on. And this is something, it's a small part of what I'm working at. I'm working on various aspects myself, of course, but this is FIGU related, but also in my non-FIGU activities. I have many different activities there. I also keep this actual in my awareness in the interaction with other human beings.
Personal aspect of myself that I'm trying to improve. I'm trying to improve taking care of my body. I'm trying to improve how I arrange the physical reality around me. And I'm trying to improve how I spend my time and preparing for how I spend my time and feeling good about it. I think that's probably covers it.
What is a personal aspect of yourself that you are working to improve, and how do you do that?
I try to meditate more. I joined FIGU England. We've got a small group in England 2 years ago, and since then I meditate on a regular basis. But now I try to increase the frequency, so I try to meditate even more often, and it helps me really to become more calm, happier, and yeah.
I think, for one, taking responsibility for my feelings and my thoughts, but also working on anger. Like, I've never been that angry of a person, but there were times in the past where, like, I would kind of just get angry about something, or just a little bit upset. But Billy told me once, actually, when I was talking to him, he said, there's never a really good reason to ever become angry about anything. So,
okay.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. There's never a good reason to become angry about anything. Yeah.
What is a personal aspect of yourself that you're working to improve, and how do you do that?
Meditating. How do I do that? Reminding myself that everything can be better if I just meditate, and focusing on that part. So yeah, just meditate.
A personal aspect of myself that I'm working on to improve. I'm currently all the time working on deepening my patience, my patience and neutrality with myself, and also with others. With my family, with my friends, colleagues, at work with co-workers, with clients, and with the world, of course. And meditation is a great tool to me. I meditate twice a day. I sit down when I wake up in the morning. I meditate and in the evening before I go to sleep, I meditate. And of course, I give my best as I can during the day to pay keen attention to my thoughts and feelings, to my deeds and actions, through the help of permanent state daily meditation, as Billy teaches it, and to really pay attention what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, and am I really acting based upon my best ability with myself and with my environment as fellow human beings, and may be like friends, family, co-workers, or clients, and so on and so forth. And meditation is for me really one of the best tools that I give my best to practice it in everyday life. Yeah.
What is a personal aspect of yourself that you are working to improve, and how do you do that?
Public speech. I'm not a big, as much as I like to take pictures and stuff and film, I'm not a big camera person, but I always told myself, if it's for the mission, it's okay. If it's okay, here, right? So I'm here, yeah. So it's okay. I'm not concerned about so much about what others might think of me or do, but if it's for the mission, I don't have a problem with that. But as far as my personal life, I'm still working on it. I'm having I don't know, it probably stemmed from having to deal with so many the negativity in the past from either school bullying or other things that happened that I'm responsible for, because they were my own decisions, my own doings, and it goes back to what I was talking about earlier, not being able to control those thoughts when you're young and you don't see yourself making the stupidity or saying certain things because you're not realizing the effect it will have on the rest of your life or within that period of time. So it's something that I'm working on, being more social, being more open, and being more outgoing. I'm always smiling, and sometimes I'm quiet. Not that I have any issue with anybody, it's just that I'm probably processing something I just read, or I have stuff going on that I'm trying to figure out myself. Yeah. But I'm always open to people, just not so much camera being those dreams were like my 20s when I first came to the States, and you get entangled and get pulled into trying to be something just to fit in, when you didn't realize that all you had to be was yourself. But I'm working on it.
Mainly to apply step by step now, kind of Billy's recommendations, like just getting enough sleep, for example. He even writes himself that you should sleep like 8 hours or as much as you need. Some people don't need that much sleep, but just to acknowledge that is like what I right now work on, that to get enough sleep. And my brain simply needs it, even though I'm not happy about it. But to accept that, and then also kind of trying to get up at the same time and going to sleep, that you have a routine, that to have a healthy routine, basically, to have a healthy routine. And work on, that's what I'm working on right now. Okay. And so, even though it sounds so simple, but whatever your bad habits are, they're always hard to quit, because we are kind of habit animals. Yes. And so for others it might be smoking or whatever. Or something else. Yeah. But for me it's these little things already, yeah.
Now that you've had an opportunity to hear about the personal aspects that others are working to improve, now it's your turn. Make a post in the comments on what personal aspects of yourself that you are working to improve on. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.